Hey, what's up, guys? I had the distinct pleasure to be on Brian Hamrick's podcast today for real estate investors, and we had a great conversation where I tried to drop as much value as I possibly could for his listeners, obviously. But after the interview was over, he asked, "Hey, Mark, do you want a little bit of constructive criticism?" I said, "Sure, Brian, bring it on. Like, I love constructive criticism." And he pretty much told me that he's like, "Mark, you really know your stuff, but when you're doing these podcasts, you gotta concise your answers. You gotta give the podcast host a little bit of time to be a little more involved." He's like, "It's great that you know your stuff, but really shorten up your answers, make them a little bit more concise." And it was really great feedback. I had been thinking about this kind of problem I've been having over the last couple days, and really I think it stems from that I like to educate people, and over the last 15 years I've done a ton of educating, mentoring, and when I'm talking to people, even in just my everyday life, including my wife and children, I take it like a teacher would do it. So I'm going to tell somebody what I'm going to tell them, then I'm going to tell it to them in detail, and then I'm going to summarize it. So I'm almost saying the same thing 3 times to really hammer home that point. And to help them remember what I'm saying, so when they move forward, they don't have to come back and ask me the same question that I already answered. And probably part of my methodology for doing that is really to avoid people coming back and asking me the same questions over and over again. So a lot of time when I'm training people or talking to people or trying to mentor people, I tell them, like, you better bring a paper and pencil, because I don't want to have to keep saying the same stuff over and over again. But I really took the feedback to heart, and it was really great feedback. So I'm going to definitely try to work on making my answers a lot more concise and getting my point across relatively quickly. But what it did was it reminded me of the festival, the conference that I just went to, Raise Fest. It was kind of like a festival, but it was for real estate professionals that are in the capital raising and syndication space. And, I had been hunkered down for so many years just doing my craft and perfecting it that I really didn't look around and see what everybody else was up to as far as growing my business and doing things a little bit differently. So it was the first time that I had gotten out and gone to an event like this, and it was such an incredible event. I used the opportunity to just run around and network with as many people as I possibly could. And I remember I was out in the lobby, and I saw a very polished looking individual sitting over in the corner talking to a younger man, and I went over and introduced myself and asked if I could join him. And we started conversing and talking and getting to know each other a little bit. And at the end of it, he said, "Mark, you want a little bit of constructive criticism?" I said, "Absolutely, bring it on. Give it to me. I want to hear it." And he pretty much said, "Mark, I've listened to everything that you're doing. You're doing a lot of stuff, but what you really need to do is focus on what is the one thing that you're doing. That needs to be, your focus. You need to, and everybody needs to be able to identify with you with that one focus. What is it? What is your focus? Are you a developer? Are you an investor? Are you a broker? What are you?" So it was a little hard to hear, but I took it and I let it sink in, and it really helped propel my business forward. He's got a background as a coach, and that really has shown through his ability to be able to give me that feedback and to deliver it at a precise time in my career where I really needed to hear something like that. But later in the day, I was down in the another little reception that they were having, and the younger gentleman that was part of that conversation approached me, and we started talking for a little bit. And he said, "Mark, I really was impressed with how you handled taking that criticism." He said, "There aren't many people that I know that are able to listen to that type of constructive criticism and take it and he's like, I didn't see you flinch, I didn't see you upset, And I told him, very candidly, I was like, yeah, it was painful to hear. The best criticism, the best constructive criticism that you get is typically painful because it's true. And your immediate reaction is going to be to, fight back and to block it and to say, no, this person's not right. But really, you need to be open to listening to it, and you need to really not say anything. You don't comment about the constructive criticism that you're getting. Be appreciative that they're willing to give that to you and nurture that relationship. Let it sink in, and then do with it what you're going to do. I'll tell you, in this case, it was extremely beneficial to my business, and just being able to really focus on determining what is it that I like to do. Why do I get up every day and do the things that I do? What is it about those things that I like, and what are the things that I want to be doing moving forward? and how do I position myself from a marketing perspective to let everybody know that, this is what I love to do, this is what I'm doing, and I want to add a lot of value. So that piece of advice really hit home for me. And, a key takeaway for you guys is surround yourself with people that are a few steps ahead of you in the path that you're on, and get to know them a little bit, and then just ask them for their candid feedback and tell them, just give it to me real. Like, I'm not going to get upset. Just tell me what it is that I'm doing wrong, and I want to hear that. I want to process it, and I want to work it into my business and really help my business grow exponentially. So I hope that helps you guys, and I will talk to you soon. All right, peace.